motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next is the minutes of the March 28th meeting. Have a chance to review those.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then again, I'd just like to note that no incidents were reported. We've got a really good trend going. Thank you.
I'm glad I didn't jinx them.
Yeah, yeah.
Or we.
And no business from the audience, so we'll go into reports. First up is Megan. Good morning, Megan.
Morning.
Morning.
Couple of action items, but before I dive in, I'll continue on that safety topic. I just want to let you guys know that we received APPA's Safety Award of Excellence for safe operating practices in 2023. Just received that plaque this week, and they categorize applicants by worker hours of exposure by size, and then they rank them based on not just incident-free records, but also on the overall state of the safety program and safety culture. And we received the Diamond Award, which is the best that you can do in that. So I want to thank everybody and congratulate everybody that takes effort on everybody's part. So real proud we got that.
I saw something on Facebook this morning too about acknowledgement of MPUA.
The RP3 award.
Yeah.
The reliability, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we have two action items for you this morning. They're both related to the recent review we've completed of wages and benefits, and we look at the survey that we do ourselves annually. We had data on 45 entities this year to look at, and then there are also several external surveys and then market observations that we make to evaluate our pay program. And the first action item there is the overall annual wages, and you will find in there recommendations to make adjustments to our pay ranges. There should be some enclosures at the end of my section there detailing those changes. In addition to those changes, we are recommending corresponding pay increases for eligible employees. In order to be eligible for that pay adjustment, they have to maintain their job performance, and that's based on performance appraisals. That adjustment allows them to retain the progress they've made within their pay range. The annualized increase on payroll from that recommendation is just over $228,000. And then additionally, we are recommending merit increases. Again, those are based on performance evaluations and allow for some growth within their pay range based on their achievements. And that is a $60,700 increase annualized. So combined, that's just over $289,000 annual impact on payroll. As part of this process, we also monitor several salary increase budget surveys. There's a little bit of detail in your packet on how we compare to those. I won't get into that unless you have any questions about it. But I do kind of want to add to that. It's not outlined in your packet, but the entities that are part of the survey that we do, we kind of compare what changes they saw from last year to this year, those that participated in both years. And we saw in that the average increase in their maximum rates was 6.8%, and the average increase in actual pay rates of incumbents was 5.5%. So everybody's still seeing significant impacts on their budget, trying to keep up with salary changes. Overall, again, what we're recommending with this package is $289,000. What was budgeted was $243,000. approximately 4%, because these will be going into effect just past the halfway point of the fiscal year. The actual impact on fiscal year 2024 will be just over 122,000 or 2%. So we should be okay budget-wise there. And what we've got there is a recommendation to approve these wages and salary changes as presented to become effective April 21st.
So in comparison, those numbers you're talking about, 6% and 5% for averages, national averages, we're at 4.76, is that
Correct.
compared? Okay, all right.
I love the fact on the merit raises. I think that's a very good thing to follow. It kind of gives the guys, some incentive to strive a little harder to make themselves better in their field. The fact that our incident rate has been excellent over the past few years. We should be having some bad years drop off and some great years replacing it. That should be bringing down our insurance. I'm extremely happy with everything that's been going on. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I threw a big fit about it, and I actually voted no for the raises just because of the incidents we were having. And it seemed like everyone took it to heart from the top down, and you guys have done an excellent job in getting that under control and establishing that culture within MMU. So I very much appreciate it. That's all I have to say. If you guys want to discuss it further, or I can make a motion to approve.
I'm good with it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right, can you make the motion? I'll second it, because I'm actually driving. I don't want to read it.
I'd be happy to. I make a motion to approve the wage and salary changes as presented to become effective April 21st, 2024.
I'd second it.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. The second item, action item there is related and deals with some of the incentives that we offer for certain licenses and certifications. We currently have existing incentives for water distribution, water treatment, wastewater collection, wastewater treatment, certifications, and then also we have an incentive for backflow prevention and also for electricians who complete an apprenticeship program. So what we are recommending that we do is to adjust the wastewater collection level B and A, adjust the amount of those to make those equal to the treatment side license incentives, and the data supports that. And then we are asking to add a new incentive that would be for system operator 2 in underground facilities who obtain natural gas operator qualification through our OQ plan. And that allows for having staff available to respond to odor complaints, locate requests, if there's a strike out on the gas line, that kind of thing. So that one would be new. And the revisions that would be necessary to the personnel policy are included in your packet there. And the annual impact currently, based on current certifications that folks in eligible positions have, would be $7,900. And with that, I would recommend a motion to revise the personnel policy as presented there, also effective April 21.
It seems to me this is kind of to true things up a little bit between the water treatment and the wastewater departments to make them the same incentives.
It does that. At one time, they were trued up, as you say. Importantly, though, the last few years, I've tried to look at the data that we're able to obtain and qualifications that are required. Look at more job descriptions, and importantly, it is supported by the data that we're seeing, so.
I make a motion to revise the personnel policy regarding license certification incentive as presented, effective April 21st, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I don't know if I need to be reading these or not, but we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, gentlemen. Just a couple more things. There is a little bit of write-up about some of the observations we made throughout this process on our benefits package. I won't get into that. The result is we're not recommending any action at this time. So if you have any questions about that, I'll be happy to answer them. And I also just want to congratulate Underground Facilities. As of March 31st, they had worked a year with no recordable injuries. So, and other than that, I'll be happy to answer questions.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, any more questions for Megan?
Nope.
Okay. We'll move on. And next is Doug. Good morning, Doug.
Morning, gentlemen. I do have 3 action items for you today. These are budgeted projects, the first being Southeast Substation T1 inspection recondition. This is a 1976 transformer put in service, and it's really served well over the years. It hadn't had much maintenance done to it. With the addition of the Southeast Sub T2, we put that transformer in service, so this transformer sitting idle now. We think it'd be a good opportunity to take it apart, do a little recondition on it. They pulled the oil out of it. They will do a regasket on it. They'll pull the bushings, pull the radiators, regasket all the manholes in it. While they got the oil out, they'll recirculate it, heat it up, degas it before it goes back in. They'll do an inspection on the tap changer, checking for defective or worn parts. There's stationary contacts, moving contacts on the tap changer. You don't know the condition of that till you get it pumped down and open it up and actually look at it. So we'll be looking at that. We did send out RFPs, sent a total of 14 out. We received 2. There were 2 no bids, and 1 was disqualified because it was not mailed in properly. I did do some research on the companies that provided RFPs. 3MD Power Services, they were well recommended by Chillicothe. They did work for them before. That guy actually came up and took a look at our transformer. We had personnel speak with him on site. Seems very knowledgeable about the process, equipment. And he is local, even though the company is in Virginia. This guy lives in, I think it was Washington, Missouri, so he's local and has all his equipment there. So with that, my recommendation is a motion to accept the proposal for 3MD Power Services in the amount of $71,616.
Well, I think, Chuck, when we did our plant tour, you noticed they had the spare transformer. I don't know if you caught what they paid for a unit when the plant was built and what the cost. I think it was $3 million. And then
Okay.
you mentioned that $3 million transformer would be about $8 million now to replace. I think it's important that we maintain the transformers we have in the best condition possible to prevent having, if we had to replace that unit, it would be really expensive.
So Southeast Substation, there's been a lot of work done out there, and they're,
With the extension of we had added transformer 2 and modified the bus and replaced the switchgear in the building. Yeah, so we've been working on it quite a bit.
so is this kind of the last phase to get that?
Pretty much, it's just giving that transformer life extension. Like I said, it's It's been in service since 1976, hadn't had hardly any work done to it. We have, I think we did an oil, flushed the oil on it. We've done some little bit of maintenance on the tap changer, but that transformer hasn't had an extensive overhaul as far as gaskets. We're losing a little bit of nitrogen, I'm not sure where that is. Your nitrogen blanket on top of your insulating oil, so there's a layer of nitrogen on top, so it's coming out of the bushings. Some port up there, there's a gasket maybe. Hopefully we'll get that found and get that sealed up.
Any thoughts on how much it'd extend the life of it doing this?
I don't know, they're gonna do pre-testing on the turns ratios, and they'll do insulation tests, and they'll test it, and then they'll perform the maintenance on it, and then they'll test it again. They can tell a lot by the test,
Okay.
what the condition of that transformer. We do DGA, dissolved gas analysis, annually on that transformer. So the quality of your oil will tell you a lot of the condition of your transformer. It's been performing pretty well, so we don't have any known issues with it. You know, we just want to prevent any future issues, kind of.
Sounds like it's some good preventive maintenance, and the fact that it hadn't had anything since '76.
I make a motion to accept the proposal for 3MD Power Services in the amount of $71,616.
Steve?
Second.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a motion and a second to accept the proposal from 3MD Power Services in the amount of $71,616. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next action item is Miami 1 substation switchgear replacement. If you remember back in the winter of '22, we had to make some extensive repairs on Miami 1 tap changer, completely rebuilt that tap changer. And in that process, I think the board in that April approved Toth and Associates to evaluate that equipment, the transformer, the circuit switcher, to look at whether we needed to keep that equipment or replace it. They did a pretty good look at that equipment and checked it out and made a recommendation that we keep the transformer, the circuit switcher, and not replace that, replace the circuit switcher, or the switchgear and building only. So we sent out RFPs for that, developed the specs and everything. And I think it was September last year, Toth approved was approved for the cost estimates for that switchgear replacement. That switchgear replacement is going to cover the building and the switchgear involved, the 15 kV breaker lineup, the bus duct going from the transformer to the switchgear, the HVAC unit that's going to heat and cool that building. They're looking at, if it's approved, we could have drawings in 8 weeks and get the equipment ordered, and it should be delivered, I think, in August 25. And then I would like to have that equipment on site before we take the existing sub down for demolition, just because I didn't want to be in a situation where if there was delays and we were committed. So there could be a little bit of extra cost on mobilizing. So if it's sitting on site in storage, we would have to get it from that site, say the pipe yard or wherever we're storing it, to the location, get it set off. Also during that time, the only other thing that could be added would be the foundation, because it's kind of unknown now. I requested to either use the existing foundation because the building footprint's going to be the same size. So I requested either using the same foundation and footing or modify it. And if it couldn't be used or modified, then we'd have to replace it. So that's kind of unknown until we get the drawings and the structural engineers get to take a look at it. We did open bids on the 14th. Received a total of 3 bids. Toth and Associates did evaluate all those bids and are recommending Evans, Lipka and Associates. So with that, my recommendation is for a motion to accept the bid from Evans, Lipka and Associates for a new metal-clad switchgear in the amount of $1,330,153.51.
So, obviously, the disparity between the budget, the quote, and how did, the budget amount, how did we, is it just an estimate?
This is budgeted over 2 years. There's 500 this year and 750 next year.
Okay.
It's still a little bit over.
Okay.
Originally, this project was budgeted at $2.5 million, and after we went through and vetted, inspected the transformer, we removed that portion and cut it from 2.5 to 1.25.
So we're comparing 1,250,000 to 1,330,000.
Correct.
Okay, because we're, okay, all right. I feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
I make a motion to accept the bid from Evans and Lipka and Associates for a new metal-clad switchgear in the amount of $1,330,153.51.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Evans, Lipka, and Associates for a new metal-clad switchgear in the amount of $1,330,153.51. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Opposed?
And you know this switchgear pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I do.
Doug, could you save him a part for
Yeah, I
a
could.
souvenir when we remove that?
A large one, yes. It won't-
I don't need it. I still got that memory.
Thank you, gentlemen. The last action item I have is the electric distribution garage door replacement and maintenance. So the building was built in 2000. There are a total of 11 overhead garage doors. We would like to replace the 3 on the south end. It gets heavy use. There's 3 trucks enter in and out of the first door, a service truck in the second door, and at least 3 trucks enter in and out of the third door. They get used heavily. We would like to perform maintenance on the other doors. We did send out RFPs, sent out a total of 18, had 4 returned and 1 no bid. So with that, my recommendations for a motion to accept the proposal from Marshall Garage Door in the amount of $14,500.
Does this include openers too?
No,
Okay, the openers are.
they're all working
They're
fine.
good, okay.
I'm glad that we have somebody locally who's interested in doing it. I make a motion to accept a proposal from Marshall Garage Door Company in the amount of $14,500.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to accept the proposal from Marshall Garage Door Company in the amount of $14,500. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I don't have anything else to add unless you have questions for me.
Then just project status report. I don't know if there's any questions for Doug on that.
Not at this time.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Grant, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Just a couple updates. I do believe as of now, we have all the line spread that we have ground available for. And we did put North Street Pump Station online this week. Just a couple minor bugs that were worked out, and it is in use at the moment. They will run it for 30 days, and they'll be back to check alignment, check vibration. Then the switchgear is due in August, and we'll probably take it down somewhere late October or September to do switchgear work and the actuated valves. Other than that, that's all I have unless the board has questions.
Any questions for Grant? Looking at the project status report.
I think everything looks okay. I do.
I was kind of curious about one thing, so, and it looks like it's been there for a while, and that's remove number 2 reservoir. So now with North Street Pump Station all, is that something
Yeah, that'll be this summer.
to proceed with?
Yeah, the water tower is due to be taken out. We're gonna get that done and blasted and painted, and just for for my security alone is if I have that storage while we do that. And then after that, we'll proceed.
Okay.
Probably go ahead and get that out we're gonna do that ourselves in-house.
Okay.
And I'm looking at renting a track on a jackhammer and getting that done this summer.
Okay.
And depending on how the DNR grant works out, he may have quite a few, some water main work, so he may need to reshuffle his budget. And I'll fill you in on that when we get to my part.
Okay. Well, the little pump house, does it stay or does it?
It goes to.
It goes to, okay. All right, no more questions for Grant? We'll move on, thank you, Grant. Travis, good morning.
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 Did have contractors stop by and look at number 3 primary basin felt seal. They're gonna get back with the manufacturer and everything to kind of come up with a plan. It sounds like it's gonna be a nightmare, so. But hopefully I'll have an answer on that eventually, but yeah. It's not gonna be an easy fix. I think the part was less than $200 and labor's gonna be ridiculous. Cause I think you gotta take out the whole bridge and disassemble the entire basin and all kinds of stuff, so. Don't know how cost effective that's really gonna be, so. But other than that, meeting with some contractors today on the door project and be happy to answer any questions if you had any.
I see Forever Chemicals made the news last night.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Yep, so
Yeah, in which
I think you knew it was coming.
oh yeah, we did test for them back in either 13 or 14. Back then, we didn't have any detect on those. I did sample this year back in February. Have not received any results yet. I even checked first thing this morning, no results yet. We're scheduled to go ahead and sample again in August. So just kind of waiting on the results to see where we're at.
So about all you can do right at this point is just test, yeah.
Yeah.
Project status report, any questions for Travis?
No.
I thought everything looked pretty good.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Travis. Eric, good morning.
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 Couple updates. The waste aeration blowers are set to, we're gonna do startup on those this morning, actually. So they're installed and ready to start up. Be doing that when I get back to the plant. And Septagon is on site right now for the waste aeration roof replacement. And other than that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Showed up today, huh?
Yeah.
Here?
Yep.
Project status report. If there's any questions there, so replace the UV system, and we're working on that. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, Eric. Next, Jared, good morning.
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 Do have an update on Unit 6. I think at the last meeting we discussed that EPOS had recommended replacing all the blades in the compressor section of the rotor, and we didn't have any firm numbers on that project at that time. I just received this morning updated numbers on that. The original proposal they had was the 1.8 million, and we thought we were gonna be below that. The cost of the new blades for the compressor section was right at 500,000. So their new proposal has come in at $2,370,046. That's 570,000 over the original 1.8 million. So it looks like we were gonna be right at that 1.8 on the original repairs, and then the addition of the $500,000 blade for the rotor. I have not had a chance to look real deep into this yet. It looks like everything that they have quoted that's still remaining, they've moved from, medium repairs to major repairs. So it looks to me like they're estimating the worst case scenario on everything. So I'm hoping that we'd still come in under that some, but I think that should be worst case scenario. I think Jeff and I are gonna sit down with Ethos next week, hopefully, and discuss how this process has gone and why we've gotten from where we were to where we are now. It seems to have increased a lot.
And the
I know
motion,
it's increased, but I mean, at this point, what are we, we gotta get this thing fixed, and I understand it's gonna cost a little more, but what are your guys' thoughts on it?
I agree, at this point, we gotta proceed. I guess the takeaway is maybe next, if we have something, is consider, Ethos and their, whether we're comfortable with them next time or not.
yeah, this is still an estimate, but yeah, I think Jared and I have some concerns on how, we got here. And we, like Jared mentioned, we just got this, I think it's 6:48 this morning, so we really didn't have a lot of time. It does look like there's about, our assistance in removal of the unit and then putting it back saved us about $200,000. So we're getting some credit for that, but we got a lot more questions. The motion the board made previously was just for repairs at an estimated cost of $1.85 million. So we'll just continue there until we get, everything's an estimate at this point still. And I'm hoping that's top, but we want to continue this. We don't want to hold it up. I think originally the schedule to have that unit back was maybe March. And now we're looking at June or July possibly. So the cost has gone up, the time is extended, and I've got some concerns I want to visit with him about. So, yeah, I agree with Stephen that one winter storm area and that 2.3 amount's been paid for and then some. So, I think where the markets are at, in the transition away from coal or renewables, this is still a very valuable unit.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, we need to certainly move forward. Yeah.
Okay, we won't get it, I don't think we get an updated amount here until, after I review what was approved, until we get a little closer. Once we have a better idea, I don't want to keep giving estimates and have no change. If the board's good with that, we'll just continue forward.
Yes, say continue moving forward.
Probably our biggest project right now, we've been working on the lower exhaust part for Unit 6. Getting real close on having that finished up. We did have a oil regulator on Unit 11's turbo that was not working correctly. We did disassemble it, cleaned it all up, put it back together, and it's been working good since. Sent out some loads of cardboard and mixed paper with the new marketer, and that's been working real well, so been happy with that.
What was mixed paper up to?
$80 a ton.
Wow.
And Jared and I talked, I don't think he ever remembers seeing it that high,
I
so.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
that's
Cardboard, yeah. Uh-huh.
What
What's
was it a time?
80? Wonder what's driving
for
that?
mixed paper.
Oh, for mixed paper?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen
What's
it.
cardboard at?
140.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe that's what's
Quite
driving,
numbers.
yeah.
That's all I got, unless you got any questions.
Project status report, looking at that.
This is kind of short.
Yeah. And current.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing, because
Yeah.
it's short but expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll be seeing this auto tie baler.
Working on that right now.
Okay. All right. Any more questions for Jared?
No.
Thank you, Jared. Next, Jim?
Morning.
Morning.
We're continuing on, same as usual. We're just about finished with a couple areas and probably start blowing fiber up on Wildcat Road here next few days. Just about finished in the YY area. Got a little bit of splicing left to do, but we've started hooking up customers on the north end of that and finish that splicing the next couple days, and we'll be able to hopefully knock about 20 people off our list in the next few weeks. So Kramer's moving along in the second area, but they had a breakdown, so I think their plow is out of town till next week to get repaired. So other than that, I'll answer any questions if you got them. My project list isn't as short as some of the others.
Kramer, working out well?
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Seems to be. I don't think they're going quite as fast as they originally thought they would, but they're making pretty good progress.
Yeah, and then project status report, but obviously a lot of them are grant.
Yeah.
Details around each grant.
We kind of talked about maybe ordering another one of those trucks that's on the list, but I kind of think I'd rather wait until we get that Maverick to just see how well it works out and see if we want to stick with that or do something different with the other ones. No news.
No news.
Man.
You see a lot of them on the road.
Yeah. The hidden Maverick. Any questions on Jim's status report? All right, thank you, Jim. Next, Tony.
Morning.
Morning.
Not too much there, just spent a lot of time on some training, time use training and some meetings there. I'm getting close to having the second quarter, halfway through the year, financials. I'll probably have that at the next board meeting, so answer any questions if you guys have them.
I guess I was just, and I know we brought this up before, the roof on the drive-through, I know. And I did see a truck there the other day, watching us, I guess, looking at that roof.
Well, we had the roof redone a year or two ago. I guess Firestone, the rubber membrane got recalled, so they were back to replacing it. That new
Okay.
cost, so.
You know, warranty on it?
Mhm.
Okay. So do we want to do this drive-through roof?
We
That's
talked
a
about it.
shingle roof, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just that part of the
Yeah, it's just that little
drive-through.
part.
And I think we originally thought that when we painted the building that we wanted to redo it, but it's still in pretty good shape, so I think we've kind of decided to put it off.
Okay.
But then I think we talked about leaving it in there in case we needed to do it. And
Leaving it on.
right now, we have no intention of doing
Okay.
it right now, yeah. anytime
Okay.
soon.
Maybe we get a big wind.
Or hailstorm. Well, I wonder if, whenever they do the warranty, would it be, maybe would that be a good time to see if, do that little section?
The warranty on,
On the membrane roof.
from what Watkins was there
Yeah.
doing? Well, I think that was just a defect in Firestone.
Right, but I'm saying if they were there to replace the membrane under a warranty, or they were just there to, they're not gonna replace the whole membrane?
No, there was just certain areas that they had to replace.
Seams or
Yeah, they were just
something?
there
Okay.
today, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, no further questions for Tony, we'll move on. Thank you, Tony. Jeff, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. We did have a call Friday, Grant and Tony and I with Burns and Mac, on the water infrastructure improvements grant that we were awarded through the legislature. I think they're pretty close to providing their stuff. We got an email from Amanda, a couple emails, was that yesterday? So she sent in the information they needed to on these projects. I think we're getting pretty close to, I don't know when, we're getting fairly close to the award. I don't know how long after the award we'll get the money, so I'm hoping fairly soon. So this grant right now will pay 90% of what we've applied for, 90% of North Street, 90% of the water treatment facility plan, and that will leave about $443,000. And we've submitted water main. What that will pay for will be materials. We'll submit materials we can use. The in-house labor will count as the 10%. So we may talk to them about submitting a water tower project, which will reduce the amount of materials we can pay for mains, but it'll still leave us probably close to $300,000, which is still going to have Grant extremely busy replacing these mains. So not sure how his, that was kind of an unforeseen thing when he was putting the budget together, so he may have to shift some things around. I think the deadline is next year in 2025. We've got a certain amount of time we need to have the money spent. Ross didn't indicate on that email when he sent it back when that was going to be, but we need to kind of find out when that date is. But yeah, that's a lot. Even 300,000 will buy a lot of water main material. So.
Certainly want to take advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It'll knock out quite a few projects in the OSB. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And hoping to get. It'd be nice to have reimbursement by May sometime. Or hope would be ideal. So, Eric and I did take a look at the Sager wastewater system that they're proposing to put at the junction yesterday with the county's engineer. Looks like a pretty good system. I'll visit with Eric and I'll visit a little bit and then probably get back with the commission on that. But they're wanting to move forward with that pretty quick because I think they've got some opportunities down there that are going to need sewer service next year. So that was pretty good. Did have the time of use presentation to the city council. Hopefully we didn't overwhelm them too much. It was pretty high level stuff, but I think it was good that we had to present that to them, so they could maybe have a little bit better understanding of what makes up the rates on the electric side. So, that's pretty much it. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
On the presentation to the city council, again, I did watch it online. It didn't seem like they had a lot of feedback. I'm sure they needed some time to. Have you had any since then? Have you had any questions back? Or?
No, I have not.
Okay.
And I may get a few. I had some, I think, after the meeting out in the lobby. I was approached with a few questions.
Yeah.
But, be happy to answer any more if we get them.
Okay. Any more questions for Jeff?
No.
Okay, thank you. And let's see, the purchase power, there's the detail on it.
And you can see on the heat chart for February, you can see we're still seeing two peaks. It's still matching the winter peak pattern. And if you'll pay attention to that as we move into the summer months, they'll combine kind of in the middle into one peak. So.
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess next is cash disbursements. And I appreciate you on the email putting the highway. That helped, yeah. It just points it right out for me.
A little shocking at first, but.
Yeah. Purchase power always drives it up.
I move we approve cash disbursements as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the cash disbursements as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next meeting is Thursday, May the 2nd. Everybody good with that?
As far as I know, you guys know me.
You're the only one of us still employed.
Don't forget a curse.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Wait a minute, Steve, so we need a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, we're adjourned. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, bye.